Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bryony and I'm one half of the Indecisive Readers. I'm once again kind of dressed up with my reindeer hoodie because I went on a walk like half an hour ago to get the last of the books for this book haul, because today is book haul, and it was really cold and now my ears are cold, so I briefly have this on to readjust me to room temperature, and I also have a cup of tea. But yeah, I'm just gonna get on because there are two piles all the way to the floor. I am also sat on the floor. There are a lot of books here. To be fair, this is my book haul from July, so it is a 6-month book haul. I want to say there aren't that many, but I'm looking. I've got them all out and I think I might be wrong. But I have read a lot of them. There are about 15 here that I've read, which I think is just under half. So what I might do is kind of create two piles during this video, but I am just going to start because I don't know. There's going to be no order to this, and there's also going to be no descriptions because there are so many, we will be here forever, but I'm just going to start and give you a little insight into what I've been buying. So the first I have is Queen of Coin and Whispers by Helen Corcoran. I've been looking forward to reading this for ages. It is on my TBR for next year because it was one of my most anticipated releases of 2020, but it just got to me later than it was released. I think it was meant to be released in March and then got pushed back to June, and then I didn't get it until July, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of like political lesbians that fall in love. There's a demisexual character. A lot of people have said amazing things about it and I'm really excited to read it. I'm hoping to put it on an early TBR because I do want to read it. Unread. Now the next on this list is The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna, which came in a fairy loot box, so I didn't necessarily buy it. And it's a book I don't really know anything about, but it is really pretty. I love the kind of sprayed edges and like the gold foiling. It doesn't technically come out until February, so I am hoping to read this in January. So like, although this isn't an arc because it did come finished in a box, it means I can like review it and have a review out before it comes out. At least that's my plan, but I don't really know, and yes, it is unread. I can't pick this one up. Right, the next one is an arc, and I'm being really funny about picking it up because it's like, I don't have any sleeves on this, because it's that kind of matte, soft matte, I don't know, but it basically picks up all the grease on my hands, and my hands are probably very sweaty. But it is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. I have read this, I finished it last night. The ending just like really shocked me. Like I like audibly was like, no, that's not right, and adored it. It was so much fun. I love this like proof because on the front it says this book contains classified and magical information, do not open without the proper permissions, and then it carries on the back, and I think that's just such a fun way to entice you to read the book. I'll put like the final cover up on the screen, but it sounds really good. I think it comes out in January. I am on the Right Reads blog tour for it. I think the blog tour is in January, in line with this coming out, but I'm so excited to read it and to discuss it with other people and see what other people think. But yeah, this is going to be like a big middle grade, I think. But I have read it. Then the next one I have also read. It is The Radium Girls by Kate Moore. I actually picked this up physically after I borrowed it from the library, which seems like counterproductive. Like, you get a book for free, but now you brought it. But I did really enjoy this book and know it's one I'd come back to. Because I've got it secondhand, it looks a little kind of worn, the pages are all cracked, but like, that's probably what I would have ended up doing with it. I would have read it a lot, I would have tabbed it, and so yeah, I think it's a really interesting book. It has a lot of trigger warning for graphic injury and death just because of the subject matter, but it's probably one of my favourite, if not my favourite, non-fiction books I've ever read. The next, oh my god, we're on a roll. I've also read this one. I'll go that one. No, I haven't read that one. Is The Beast and the Bethany by Jack Meggitt Phillips. Again, this is an arc. It's a middle grade arc. I read it in August for, again, the Right Reads blog tour. It was really fun. Would definitely recommend. I love, once again, the proof, because can you see like someone's taken a bite out of it and scratched it as well. And then it's got like drool all over the back, and I think it was really good, really fun. Definitely enjoyed this one too, and yeah, have actually read it. So the next one on this side I haven't read, but I do have plans for a buddy read. I don't, the back's bent. That's on me. I did that. Probably putting it back on the shelf. I don't know when we're planning on reading it, but we will be reading it. I'm thinking probably February. That's the word. I'm thinking probably February because it's like Valentine's Day and it's kind of a romance. I don't know if it's a romantic story, but there is romance and there is sex in it. And that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J Maas. I have the old cover because I searched it out because I managed to find the original cover for the first one for £1. So I was like, I want to find this, and I managed to find it on eBay for about £4, maybe a bit more, but like I thought that was a good deal considering it's the original copy. It looks a little worse for wear now, but I really like this cover. I'm slightly frightened to read it because I am not good with sexy scenes, but let's just go all in with the sexy scene in this. So the next one I have is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. I have also read this one. The ones I've read so far have all been fantastic. I've rated all of them 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of a bit unusual, not what I'd usually read. I think it's written in verse, is that where it's not all the words on the page, but it discussed really interesting themes about identity, about race, about gender and sexuality. Would definitely recommend. And because it's YA, I thought it was quite interesting because it introduces all these topics to like people that might not usually have access to them other than through books, and I thought this was a really accessible way of reading them. Then I have another arc, and that is The Wolf and the Water by Josie Jaffrey. I'm feeling a bit better. I mean, I think that's all the arcs I've got, but like that's 3 arcs. That makes me feel a bit better about having like so many on this list. But this is The Wolf and the Water by Josie Jaffrey. I was sent it by the author for review, and it's a kind of Atlantis retelling, which I didn't know anything about. I don't think I'd seen or watched or read any Atlantis retellings before. I also hadn't read the original. I just vaguely knew it is a city underwater. And this kind of explores the pre-underwater part. I quite liked the kind of historical mythological lore of it, but I didn't love the big romance in it as much. But it was good, was interesting. If you don't hate romance as much as me, you would probably like it. Then the next on my list I was actually given as a birthday present, but I did a birthday haul which I will link down below, and this was sent afterwards, so like I haven't been able to put it on a book haul yet. But that is 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction actually sent this to me for my birthday, which was very nice because she really enjoyed it. I think she actually wrote her dissertation on it. And I read The Children of Jocasta by the same author, absolutely adored it, and so this has been on my TBR for a while. I think since the hardback came out I just never got around to buying it, and so like I'm really pleased to get hold of it, and yeah, hopefully I will find time for it soon, but I haven't done yet. Then we have The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reid. I actually brought this in foils. Do I have my receipt? No. Oh, I do still have my receipt. I brought this in foils in London when I finally managed to escape. And I met up with Sam and we were out for a week. It was that really hot week, and we went to Chinatown and we went to foils, and it was really nice. And I picked this up because again I'd heard Ashley talking about it, and I just read The Hate You Give, really enjoyed it, thought it was really interesting. I thought this would be like a really good one to have. I was hoping to read it this year, just the month I was hoping to read it I didn't read as much, and therefore it is still on my TBR, but it is one I'm definitely hoping to get to because it's kind of a YA book about race. I think it's historical fiction because it's 1992. Does that count as historical fiction? At what point does it become historical fiction? But anyway, I'm very much looking forward to reading this. Then I have another one I have read, although I haven't actually read the physical book. I did get the ebook and the audiobook because they were like £3. But this is Ray Bearer by Jordan Ifweka. You can see the cover is done in all that gold foiling, but also it's got stenciled edges. This is the Fairy Loot edition, and it's probably one of my favourite books of the year. It's definitely one of my like prettiest book of the year, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the kind of fantasy element was really interesting. It was really easy to read as well. Like a lot of people feel like, I mean I don't necessarily feel the same, but I feel a lot of people's arguments against like African kind of folklore mythology is it's difficult to understand because we just don't know a lot about it. But I didn't find this was the case in it. I was very fascinated by the relationships. I felt like they weren't explored as much as I wanted them to be, but they were explored, and yeah, definitely would read again. Was so pleased to get hold of it because it's such a pretty copy, and I just hope they do like a similar one for any sequels. Then my next one I brought off Instagram from someone who was like selling secondhand books. I'd put the other one with it, but it's right at the bottom of this pile, so that's not happening. But that is Everything I Know About Love, yeah, by Dolly Alderton. This is, I think, non-fiction, a memoir. I don't really know what it's about. I just know that lots of people talk about it, and so when I saw it's being sold, I was like, I'll buy it. Even though I'm not really sure why I did, because it is available at my library, and then I saw it in a charity shop for 20p, and this was like £4, and I'm like, ugh. But anyway, I would like to read it at some point. I don't really know what it's about. I'm a little bit intimidated by it because it's non-fiction memoir, and that's like really not my usual thing, but I think it should be interesting, hopefully. And then I have A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. This again is the Fairy Loot edition, so it has pretty green sprayed edges, and it's all gold. It's not gold, it's silver and shiny, and I really liked it. I have read this, although once again I did read the audiobook because that was available from my library, and I thought it was a really good audiobook. A lot of the time when I read fantasy audiobooks I get a bit lost because I just can't follow them, or there are details that I miss, and whilst there are a few details I miss in this, I did generally follow it. Really enjoyed it, and rated it 4 stars. I thought it was so good. I thought the audiobook was good as well because there were 2 like narrators and there were 2 characters, and it had an enemies to lovers romance that was so good. And dancing, my new favourite trope is dancing apparently, and this is what sparked that. Next on my list, I have recently included this and the next one, possibly some over here, in a video of books I want to read before I unhaul them. Basically, I've put a load of books on a shelf where I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to like these, so I'm going to put them all on a shelf, like pages out, so then I don't know what it is, and then I can just pick it up and then I'll know whether or not I'll like it or whether I just want to unhaul it. But the first one is Forest of Souls by Laurie M. Lee. This again was from a Fairy Loot, so it is an exclusive edition. It comes with some artwork there, and also artwork under the jacket, and like a little, is it embossed spider? Yes, got Apex. I don't know a lot about it other than presumably it's set in a forest with spiders and the dead, I think. It sounds really interesting when I read the blurb, but it's just not one I've been reaching for, so I thought if I put it on this shelf I may pick it up and enjoy it, and if I don't, I can just get rid of it. The next one I have on the same shelf is Shielded by Kaylin Flanders. This again was from a Fairy Loot box, and when I read the blurb again, it sounded really interesting. It's about a princess who has an arranged marriage that she doesn't really want to go into, but she's actually like really fierce and does stuff, and she sounds incredible, but once again I'm not really reaching for it, so I thought I'd put it on this shelf, and you never know, maybe I would. It has exclusive artwork as well, and it doesn't have artwork underneath, but it does have, can you see, like an embossed cover. See, that I think is embossed, maybe it's stamped. The next one on this side should go with one over here again, but I can't reach it. But that is, well, you can't see, The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This is a hardback, but without the dust jacket. So what I'm planning on doing, because there's obviously not going to be a dust jacket with it, I'm going to hurt people once again by painting on it. My plan is to do Dara and Nari on a flying carpet going over Cairo, and then on the back do Daevabad with Ali and Nari sat there having like a discussion or having dinner, and I think it's gonna look great. And then my plan is to do it with the other 2, which is fine, but like these ones go for like hundreds of pounds and it'll probably hurt people, but I got it for £25, and even though it doesn't have the dust jacket, I'm pleased because I think me painting it will look nice, much to probably everyone else's hatred. Should we do other painted books whilst we're here? Yeah, let's hurt other people whilst we're here. So the next 2 I have, well the next 3, but I don't physically have one of them because I've lent it to someone, is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon, and The Song Rising by Samantha Shannon. This isn't the usual cover for The Song Rising. The usual cover is white with a crown and flames, but I painted on it because I like the original covers for this series, and there was no original cover for this one. I think it looks quite nice. I know I've hurt a lot of people, but I think from a distance it looks pretty cool. Like, obviously doesn't match these now, and now I'm tempted to like get another one so I can have one that does match, but I think it looks really nice. And yeah, I'm planning on reading it. I was going to say in December, but like my sister has the mime order and she's currently reading it, and I don't know when I'll get to it, so I think I'm going to listen to them, but I will come back and annotate it like I have with this one, because you can see I've gone through with my tabs. Really enjoyed annotating it, really enjoyed painting it. You can't see, what I've done is I painted over her name, but I thought I can't go around all those letters. What I've done up here is I've gone over with, what's it, nail varnish remover, and I still need to go over some of the details, because like if I bring it in you can see it's not perfect, but like from over here I think it looks great. But obviously I've read those two, so like yay me. Then I'll carry on with this side. This one I got when I was at Gaze the Word with Sam in London, the same day not the same day, but around the same time we also went to Foyles. This is the Fallen in Love montage by Kira Smith. I tried to pick it up in about September, but I was a little bit slumpy and I just wasn't reading a lot. I just started a job and was applying for jobs, and it was my birthday, and I read a lot in, well no, I didn't read a lot the month before, I was just a bit slumpy. It's a kind of lesbian rom-com, I want to say, and it sounds fantastic. I feel like I'm gonna want to pick it up around Christmas when I want a like cute kind of cozy read, or I'm gonna wait until like next summer when it's actually the right time for this. But I'm really looking forward to getting to it, and I think it's gonna be so much fun. Now around the same time I also picked up Cinderella is Dead by Kaylin Bayron, I can't remember. But I picked this up at Gaze Word too because I was really looking forward to it. Sam actually has hold of it. I don't quite know why I gave it to Sam because I know Sam's not going to read it anytime soon. But it sounds great. It looks wonderful. It's a black queer retelling of Cinderella, and everyone I've heard from has really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting into it. I might just steal it off Sam because I put it on my like definite TBR for this year. The next two I have are from a series, but weirdly I only have book 1 and book 4 in the Diviners series. Basically, I read the Diviners back in March or April. God, that was so long ago. When did I read it? I can't remember. I read it at some point and just kind of wasn't blown away. I thought, yeah, it's alright. I quite like it. Not blown away by it. And I thought I probably won't actually come back to this series, but then when like Halloween came around and I read that there was an asexual character in it, I thought I'm going to pick it up again. So I picked it up from the library once more as an audiobook and thought, oh my god, this is incredible. I really like this series now. So I picked this up, honestly mainly for Bookstagram reasons. And then I thought I want to buy all of them. So what I'm doing is like vaguely keeping an eye out for cheap versions of this. I think this was about £4, this was about £3. This is obviously not the same cover. They changed the cover halfway through and I think they are available, but they're just a lot of money. And so yeah, I'm slowly getting through these. I think they're wonderful. Really would recommend as a kind of good Halloweeny read if you want to like really get stuck in, because each book is about 500-600 pages long, so you could like read all of these just for Halloween. Then I have The Wicked Deep by Shia Earnshaw. I picked this up from a charity shop, so it should have been in my charity shop haul, which I will also link down below, but I think I picked it up on the same day as I posted my charity shop haul, so I haven't got to it yet, but I was gonna say I'm gonna get to it soon. I don't think I am. It's not like a priority read. It was just one I'd heard a lot about and it was only £1. I'm not meant to say that in a haul, Brian, can't. Right, so the next one I picked up was Freshwater by Awaki Emezi. My local bookshop actually shut in March, just before lockdown, or coinciding with the start of lockdown. It has recently reopened, and when it reopened on that day I went in to go and get a book, but I went in about 4 o'clock and it had obviously been open since about 9 and it was like nearly empty, and this is the only one I'd really heard about, so I picked this up. I don't really know what it's about. I know Sophie from A Redhead Reads has recommended it and I will read it at some point. It's quite short, so I'm hoping to get to it soon. It was longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction, but I know that there were some controversial thoughts around it because they were redacted from it, or did they withdraw themselves? I can't remember, but basically I think the author is non-binary and the committee wanted to know what they were born as, you know what I mean, to allow them to be like shortlisted for it, and they were like, no, the Women's Prize for Fiction is meant to be about diversity and giving a voice to people who have previously been downtrodden, and you are doing the opposite of that, so that's not good. Then I have, I'm going to save that one because otherwise I'll look like a weirdo. Then I have Full Disclosure by Cameron Garrett. I brought this one and Black Flamingo and another one I haven't got to yet, all in one go. I basically went to Waterstones once, I can't remember why, and wanted to pick up one book, and then I wanted to pick up this one, and it was in buy one get one half price, so I got Black Flamingo with it. But this is about a black bisexual girl who has HIV, I think, and she is at school. It's a young adult fiction, and I think it sounds so interesting. It covers so many topics I don't think I've ever seen covered in YA fiction before, and it's gonna be so good. I put it on a few TBRs, but I just haven't got to it, and so I'm hoping to get to it next year. Next is my final book I got when we went to Gaze the Word, and that is The Way to the Stars by Kay Ancrum. This is a gay sci-fi, I want to say. Looking at the cover, it looks sci-fi, and I got it from Gaze the Word, so it must be gay. But really looking forward to getting this. I love the kind of, can you see the sound waves on the side? I think that's so clever, and I think it should be quite interesting. I don't really know anything about it, but it looks like it's quite easy to read. It looks like the chapters are only like a couple of pages long. I don't actually know what it's about, but it says on the back, the universe is full of second chances. So we will get to it, I promise. I promise myself we will get to it. And then on this side we have another one from a book subscription box. This was from the Fairy Loot one. That is Fable by Adrienne Young. This is a Little Mermaid retelling, I think, or at least it's set at sea. It's set with mermaids and things and pirates. I think it might just be pirates. I think I've come up with the Little Mermaid thing out of nowhere. I don't think I'm right, but I really like the cover. If you can see, the edges are like blue and shimmery and they look fantastic, and yeah, I just very much like it, and I would like to recreate it, but my hair doesn't flop like that, especially not in a ponytail. Plat. But I should do it before I cut my hair if I do want to do it. And then we have, can I get hold of all of them? No, the other one's at the bottom. Then we have the first of 3 book recommendations I was given by Ashley. As part of her Patreon, she was kind of recommending 3 books to each from a certain tier, so I signed up because I wanted to see what books she would recommend. And so the first is Hag, Forgotten Folktales Retold. Basically, it's a collection of folktales retold. Okay, I don't know who it's by. But it's got a collection of various authors who write these different folktales, and I think it sounds really interesting because they're not just going to be fairy tales, and I think that's really good because you only seem to see the same fairy tales retold, and so I think it should be really interesting to see kind of what ones are discussing here and how they're retold, and it'll probably be feminist. I think that's why Ashley recommended it. Then we have a book that I am currently 75% of the way through, and I'm really scared because like everyone has said how it's like the most amazing book, but then they get to the end and all they do is post a picture of them crying, and I think that's going to be me in about an hour, and I'm like really frightened because I'm adoring this book so far. I think it's incredible. I love it so much, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I didn't pre-order this. I did buy it recently through eBay, so I paid more than like I should have done, but I really wanted it, and I wasn't planning on listening to the audiobook when I ordered it. I was planning on reading it, but then I went on my library to see which audiobooks were available, which were like new, and it was like, this is available now, and I'm like, okay, let's read it. And it is such a good audiobook. It's like so soothing, and which is why I'm extra scared, because I'm just like relaxed when I'm listening to it, so like all my defenses are down, and I genuinely think I might cry. I don't cry at books, but there's a happy ending now, and I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm really scared. But I'm gonna put this on my red pile because I'm most of the way through reading it, and by the time this will have gone up, I will have finished it. Then we have another gold book. I put 3 gold books in a row, and that is Star Daughter by Shveta Thakkar. This was from the Fairy Loot box, and it has, once again, gold, shiny, they're kind of shimmery, but it's not focusing. It has a really pretty cover. I love the cover, and it also has beautiful end pages and wonderful artwork under the jacket. I think it looks stunning. I'm very much looking forward to reading it. I don't know why I haven't put it on a TBR yet, because like it sounds so good, and that didn't but it looks so incredible. The story sounds really interesting as well. I believe it is a retelling of Hindu mythology, which I don't think I've really read before, or maybe only read once, and so I'm so excited to get to it. I think it sounds incredible, and it just looks incredible too. I nearly cried when I like unboxed this. Then my final gold books is, no it's not, the next one is also gold in a different way, you'll see, is Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. This is a Waterstones exclusive. I picked it up because it was signed. I mean, there's a lady with tits there as well, but it is signed. But that's like really reflective, and it just looks reflective, but like I can see myself in it, and I don't know how that works, because obviously usually you just spray it, but like how did they do this? Did they like literally coat it? But I don't really know what it's about, but I just know it's a feminist non-fiction, and I like a bit of feminist non-fiction, and it feels like the kind of one you'd ask for Christmas. But when I opened it up and saw the lady with the tits out, I thought, I'm not asking my parents for it from Christmas. But I'm really excited to read it once I get to it. I'm hoping to do kind of a reading vlog with all the ones that Ashley recommended, but we'll see. Then my final gold one, I swear this is my final gold one, is The Empire of Gold by S.H. Chakraborty. This is why I said it should have gone with the City Brass, but this is the final in the David Bad trilogy. It is a chunk. Like, I think I've already included this actually. I think I may have included this in my June one. So ignore me. I've read it though. The next one I got from an Illuma Crate box, but I didn't actually get from an Illuma Crate box because I am not currently signed up to Illuma Crate, which makes me really sad because Illuma Crate have had some fab books that I've wanted. But this is Seven Devils by Elizabeth May and Laura Lamb. I picked this up from eBay because it was only £15, and I had actually, and still have because I haven't sold it yet, the normal edition of Seven Devils, which Sam currently has, but then I saw that this one was like available for only £15, and it's that colour and it's that colour, and I mean, why wouldn't I want this for £15? Once Sam gives me back the other one, I will sell that. But yeah, very much enjoy this. I think it was a fantastic book, and I have read it, so yay me. Then we have Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashardust. This is the reason why I started getting a Fairy Loot subscription over Illuma Crate, because I really wanted to get this one. There were some fandoms in the box that I was interested in, and I think it looks like a really pretty book. I like the green sprayed edges. I think usually the cover is white with a pink snake, and oh, there's a little letter, oh, and there's the bookmark, and there's some artwork, and it's grey underneath. I think it's very pretty, and I'm very excited to read it. I think it is a Persian retelling with bisexual characters, which sounds great. I will be adding it to my pile. Then we have The Queen of the Tearlin by Erica Johansson. Once again, I don't know why I picked this up with Everything I Know About Love. Yeah, is that the name? But I picked it up at the same time as this, and I don't know why, because I already had a paperback version and I didn't need a hardback because Sam already has versions. So like, why I picked this up, I don't know, but I am interested in the story. I just haven't got to it yet, and why did I buy the hardback? Probably gonna sell it, let's be honest, but it really makes me laugh whenever I see it, because it says soon to be a major film starring Emma Watson, and obviously that's not happening. Then the final one from my haul with Ashley, well, kind of, is Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. I read the 10,000 Doors of January last year, really enjoyed it, and Ashley read this year and obviously knows that I enjoy the 10,000 Doors of January, so recommended this. I think the cover's really pretty. This is one of the ones I picked up this morning, the other one is still in this pile, but it's really like intricate. It's got needles and flowers and berries, and there's a snake. I didn't notice the snake before, and a bird, and scissors, and some more leaves, and just very, very good. Like, I mean, I was looking at all of those and not actually showing you, but like, very pretty, very much looking forward to it. I am slightly frightened because, I thought it was going to be 600 pages. It's barely even 500. Okay, that's fine. I'm less frightened, but it does look really thick. Maybe the pages are thick or something. But it also has like loads of little stars on the cover. It's feminist and witchy, and it's about the suffragists or the suffragettes. I think there's a difference, but I don't know what it is. What is it? Suffragists. I will look up the difference before I read this, maybe. But I'm very much looking forward to reading it. So it's definitely on my TBR for next year. And then we have, it's ripped. When did it rip? Did I rip it? Was that me just now? Did it turn up ripped? Anyway, it's These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This turned up on Saturday and I wasn't planning on unboxing it until today, but I had to find time on Sunday because I thought I'm not going to survive like 4 days without seeing any spoilers. But I did manage it. I haven't actually seen any spoilers now, other than what the book was, but I was like aware of what the book was before. But this was from Fairy Loot again. It is a Chinese retelling of Romeo and Juliet, kind of in a crime underworld. Almost, it feels a bit like that one with Leonardo DiCaprio, but set in China, maybe in 1920s Shanghai. But the cover's really pretty. It's got like rose gold letters and a rose gold dragon. It's also got pink sprayed edges and artwork under the jacket, which once again, like, no matter what the book is, if it's got artwork under the jacket, I'm kind of like, I will keep this forever. But I haven't read it, so it has to go on this side. And then the other book that technically Ashley didn't recommend, but I have picked up for Ashley because it is part of her Patreon book club, and that is The Year of the Witch by Alexis Henderson. This was the group pick for November and December, but I think I may actually delay it until next October because it's witchy and it might be perfect for around Halloween. I may pick it up, but like, I don't have room for it on my December TBR. We're in December already. I don't have room for it on my December TBR, and I don't think I'm going to read that much anyway, so I'm going to like add it to this pile. Then we have Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron. What I'm hoping is by the time this video goes out, I can put it on that side, but at the moment it has to go on that side because I have been meaning to read it since August, maybe September, because the sequel comes out next month. No, it comes out in February. That makes me feel a bit better. And I've been meaning to read it for ages, and I have pre-ordered it, and I don't know. I have heard really, really good things about it, and for some reason I just haven't picked it up. No reason other than I only owned it physically for a while. I do now have the ebook, and I think it's going to be through the ebook I pick it up, just because I'm not really reading anything physically at the moment, at least not a lot. A lot of these I have. I haven't read physically. The only ones on this, like, that I have read physically that I have put on this side are the 3 Arcs and the Forbode Season. So, that doesn't look good for me really, does it? I have a cat now, come on! Then I brought some more books physically that I didn't own, but I did read the E-Arc, absolutely adored it. It's now one of my favourite books of the year and generally, and that is Legendborn by Tracy Dion. But I like this cover. Look at the like shininess, but also I have like the Owl Crate exclusive edition, which I actually don't like as much. I mean, I do like, but this one's got just such bright colours, like the red and the blue are just so vivid, and these are just like a little bit more muted. I still like it, and this isn't. I have a problem when I brought this. Basically, I brought this and I didn't realise it was just it recovered, so I have brought the proper version, because the proper version I haven't like opened up, but it is red underneath and it is signed and it has a book plate and it has a letter, and I also have the badge that comes with it, but I do now have 2 copies, but I have read them, so I feel less bad. I have lent this out to a couple of people and I will be planning on rereading it, but I just really like this copy. Then the final two I haven't read, but you know, we're fine. But they are both arcs, and I haven't read because this one comes out in March, and that is While Paris Slept by Ruth Druitt. This is a kind of post-World War II story, I think, and I don't know what it's about. It's a historical fiction. I was just sent by the publishers, and I will read it, but I haven't read it yet. And the final one I have, I'm not displeased with those two piles actually. Okay, just wait. The final one I have is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint, which is a feminist retelling of Greek myth, which is fantastic. Very much enjoy it. Haven't read it yet because it doesn't come out in April, but it looks gorgeous. Everyone else is really excited. Everyone else is talking about how they're pre-ordering it, and I'm like, how have I got hold of it? But I'm so excited to read it. I think it's going to be fantastic, and yeah, waiting now until maybe March to read it. I don't know how long I can delay it. But yeah, those are all the books I have brought since July. Like I said, I don't actually feel that bad because this is, okay, maybe like 5 months worth of books, but like that's still 5 months worth of books. And what I'm going to show you is these are all the ones I haven't read. I'm frightened to do this because I think it will fall on my head. Okay, like sat up, that's not good that they're like as tall as me, but like it's fine. It's fine. Slightly worried for my cup of tea, which is still on the floor, I'll be honest. As a comparison between read and unread books, I know these are slightly closer to the screen so it looks like taller. I don't think I've done badly. Like, I may not have like physically read all of those, but I have read them and know I will come back to them. And I don't think that's bad. Maybe. But tell me if it is, or don't, because then I'll be sad. But if you've read any of these, let me know. If you've read any of these as well, let me know and we can discuss them. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're judging me, please judge me silently because I'm also judging me. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in another video. Bye!